First step is to wash your hands, so go ahead and wash your hands and come back and meet me here. Hi nail friends, welcome to another episode. So this time I'm going to show you guys how to do an at-home manicure with a basic cuticle and hand treatment or care. So here we go. We're going to start with acetone. If you have polish remover, that's fine, but I prefer acetone. It just gets it off faster. And what we're going to do is going to soak that cotton ball with the acetone or polish remover, and then you're just going to press on the nail for a few seconds and move side to side, and then just swipe down with pressure, and then that should help take off that polish a little faster, a little easier without making such a big mess. And then you're just going to do this with all 10 nails. And you want to make sure you have a towel and a paper towel so you protect your table from the acetone, okay? Okay, now that you have all the polish off, we're going to grab our file that's at 180 grits or higher. Just don't go any lower than 180, which is like a 150, 120, 100 grit file, or look for a file that says for natural nails. And you're going to go ahead and shape your nails in one direction, not a seesaw direction. And just go ahead and shape the nails the way you like it. Now, if your nails are too long or are too uneven and you want to cut them, you could, before you do the step, you could just cut them with a nail cutter. I recommend a straight one. And then just go into shaping your nails. And yeah, just go one direction at a time. From corner to center, and then the other corner to center. And yeah, you're just going to go ahead and do this for all 10 nails. Once you're finished filing and shaping all your nails, just check to make sure they're all even and that's the shape you like. And then we're going to proceed with our cuticle remover. And you're just going to apply the cuticle over the nail, and you're going to use your orange stick or your cuticle pusher, whichever you have. But if you have the orange stick, just use the flat side. And this cuticle remover is very alkaline, and so it's going to help dissolve that cuticle that's on top of the nail, which you don't want it, because this is the reason sometimes your polish falls off is if you have cuticle. So we're prepping the nail right now just to make sure that the nail is clear of cuticle, oils, and dirt before we proceed. So this is the prep. And you're just going to gently push back. I'm not doing this hard. I'm not applying a lot of pressure because the cuticle remover is doing all the work for me. And you're just going to gently push back the eponychium. And the cuticle is not the skin. It's whatever gunk is on the nail. Sometimes there's a lot and sometimes there's a little. But yeah, you're just going to do this. Now, I recommend this Blue Cross cuticle remover. It's what they use in all the salons. Sincerely, I've tried different brands, creamy brands, expensive brands, and let me tell you, this is the best stuff I've ever found. So yeah, you're just going to go ahead and do the same for the other hands. And what you do want to do, make sure is when you're done doing this step, make sure to wash your hands, because like I said, cuticle remover is very alkaline and it could be very irritating to the skin. So it should not be on the skin for too long, just the necessary amount of time you need it on it to do this prep work. And yeah, once you're done here pushing and getting all the sticky stuff off, go ahead and wash your hands. Don't skip this step. Okay, I've washed my hands, and now we're going to clean under the nail. It's going to get a piece of cotton and roll it tightly on that pointy side of your orange stick, like so. And then I just like to spray a little bit of alcohol on it, just a little cotton, and then just go carefully under each nail to clean it. And I'm using my pinky finger holding onto my other finger so that I have control of the stick, so I'm not poking myself. You don't want to cut yourself. Here my cotton fell off, so I'm gonna get another piece. And you could do additional pieces, because sometimes your nails, if they're too dirty, you might have to do this cotton procedure multiple times, which is fine. And then, like I said, you see how I'm using my fingers to hold on to my other fingers. That's just really going to help control the stick. You do not want to poke under your finger. You do not want to open that skin up. And then you're just going to go ahead and clean underneath all 10 nails. Now you could find that Blue Cross cuticle remover. I've seen it on Amazon, at Sally's beauty supply store. So any beauty supply store or nail store, and I totally recommend it. And it's not expensive. It's kind of watery, so it's perfect when you're doing a waterless manicure. Okay, once you're done cleaning your nails, just make sure to remove that cotton, because you're going to use that stick later. And now I'm just inspecting to see if I have any hang nails or loose cuticle. If you have any loose cuticle, this is where you would use your nipper to just cut loose skin, but not the live skin. Now we're going to go ahead with some cuticle oil. And I'm going to show you two methods, okay? So one method is you put the oil on first, and then you grab a nail buffer. This is a 240 buffer grits. It's not a shiny buffer, it's just a regular buffer. And this is one way you could do it, is by applying the cuticle oil on first and then just buffing the nail gently. And this is just to smooth out any ridges on the nail and remove any leftover cuticle that might still be on the nail plate. And this just gives it a smooth surface before application. Now the other method I'm going to show you is before applying cuticle oil, you're just going to buff it first, and then after the buff you add the cuticle oil. Now if you don't have cuticle oil, you could use almond oil, you could use a little bit of olive oil, you could use any type of oil that you might have if you don't have, cuticle oil. And it's just like a drop on each nail. And this is part of the cuticle treatment. And so again, here we're just buffing the nail gently, just smoothing out the top of the nail. This does not damage the nail if you're using a buffer, a 240. And if you do it gently, and then after buffing, we add the cuticle oil, and you just rub that in and just rub it all over your hands. And then you grab a hand lotion or any lotion that you might have, but if you have like a lotion especially for the hands, and you're just gonna rub it in, massage it all over. Now this hand lotion is from Coty. It's a brand that's used in the salon, so it does leave a oily residue at the end. So this is the next part is totally optional to you, to rub off the lotion or to leave it on. It just depends what lotion you're using, but any lotion would be good as long as it's not gritty. And you're just gonna go ahead and massage each finger, massage over the cuticle area, massage your hands. Really, this is the time to really treat your hands, like you're at the spa. Just give them that little stretch, little massage, especially if you use your hands a lot, and just really get in there with the massage. You could do this for as long as you like. So if you're using a cream like I am, a lotion that leaves a residue, what you can do then is grab a hand towel and run it under hot water, and then use that towel to wipe off the oily feeling, and just really make sure that you wipe off any oil or lotion from the nail. And if you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but you do have to eventually clean. You do want to clean at least the nails off of the oil and the lotion. So this is totally optional, but yeah, hot towel feels really good. Just gonna wipe all that off. And so we're gonna inspect again to see if any cuticle is popping out, or we have any hangnails, because sometimes they just show up. Now for this tip, I like to use a lint-free wipe with alcohol, because you don't want any lint. But if you have regular cotton, just go ahead and use that, and just make sure to inspect your nails before polishing to make sure there's no lint. But if you're using this, just grab your alcohol and make sure you really clean the nail of all that oil and lotion, because we have to make sure our nails are free of debris, oil, and lotion before we apply our base coat. So go ahead and give that a good cleaning. So after cleaning, I'm just going to inspect again, because usually hangnails pop up around this time, and any loose skin. I'm looking for loose skin hangnails, and I'm going to grab my nippers if you have any, and I'm just going to gently cut without pulling. No pulling. You need sharp nippers for this, so you're not pulling the skin. If you pull, it's going to hurt. And then after I check, I'm going to get my dampen dish ready, my cleaning brush ready. If you don't have a cleaning brush, you could still use your stick. If you don't have a dampen dish, you don't worry about it. And then I'm going to have my acetone here handy, or my polish remover. And we're going to start with the first coat, which is the base coat. So in order to have a successful manicure, you want to do thin coats, and you want to do thin coats because it dries faster as well. And we're just going to start down the center, side to side, and then we're going to cap the tip. Now you don't want to have too much product or too little product, so this is going to come with practice, but you're going to swipe your brush once it comes out, product, and then you're going to get that brush parallel to the nail in the center and then close to the skin, and then you're going to push forward without touching the skin, and then you're going to swipe down side to side and cap the tip. And so here I'm showing you how I swipe clean, remove the excess product. It's like swipe, swipe, and then on the other side that I didn't swipe, that's the side that's going to touch the nail, because that's the side that has the product. And so I'm going to go center, close to the cuticle, the skin I mean, and then push forward, and then slide down, and then go side to side. And you're going to want to cap that tip, and you want to keep a thin coat so it dries fast and it gives you the best results. Center, push forward, slide down the middle, side to side, and then cap the tip. And this is going to come with practice, you gauging if you have too little or too much. So, you know, just, and it also depends on the product that you have. So just keep practicing and you'll eventually gauge the right amount of product for the size of your nails, the length of your nails, and based on the product that you're using. So here I'm going to do it only on one hand first. The base coat dries pretty fast, so I'm going to go ahead and do my first coat of polish color by shaking the bottle so I could mix the color together. And here I'm swiping the excess, and I'm going to do the same step parallel to the nail in the center, getting close to the eponychium, pushing the brush forward, then sliding down the middle, and then going side to side, and then just capping the tip. If you touch the skin, don't worry, because we're going to clean out anything that's on the skin after. So in the center, get close to the eponychium without touching it, then slide down the center, then side to side, and then cap the tip. Now this is the Gelixir brand, which I was not too happy with. Last time I used OPI, and it was a lot more watery and runny. But this one tends to get, it's thicker and tends to get a little stickier. So it was a little bit more of a challenge not to make thin layers with this. So just, I kept wiping the brush from the, you know, on the bottle to remove that excess product, because it was a stickier, thicker product, this Gelixir. So I don't recommend it if you're new. But if you like Gelixir, you know, good on you. You know how to use the product better than I do. So polish color takes longer to dry, so I'm just going to let this sit here for a minute. It's still fresh and it's still, you know, a little wet, so So because I want this to dry for a little longer before I do my second coat of color, I'm gonna go ahead and do my base coat on my other hand, and just be careful not to smudge the work you just did on the other hand. And I'm gonna basically do the same thing on this hand with the base coat, a thin coat, and I'm gonna go put my brush parallel on the center and then push it forward towards the eponychium and then slide it down the center and then brush it down side to side and then cap the tip, being very careful, like I said, with my other hand because it has some color. But like I said, this is just gonna give me more drying time without me waiting around. And if you don't want to do this, if you want to do one hand at a time, you can do that. Just recommend that you wait 1 to 2 minutes between, coats, because you want them a little dry before you proceed. So here I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the other 5 nails carefully and capping. Now the base coat dries, like I said, a lot faster than the color. So I wait like a minute and then I go ahead and apply the color. Same procedure, down the middle, side to side, and then cap it. Okay, once you're done, just wait about a minute and then just go ahead and do the other nail. Again, your second coat of polish, which is actually your third coat of the manicure. You see how sticky that is? Now the second coat is easier than the first coat because it's just to create the coverage. So you don't need to cap. You're just gonna go down the center, side to side, and that's it. Don't cap it because you don't want the tip to be too thick. So just doing this second coat of polish is just to make sure you have full coverage. Here I had to mix it again because, like I said, this polish is really sticky and it dries very fast. So I don't know if you have to stop and shake and mix your polish again, go ahead and do that. I felt like I had to do that for this product. And again, here it's easy. You're just going down the center, down the sides, no capping needed. Let it dry 1 minute, especially because now I felt like it was thicker. So I waited 1 minute and very carefully still, because I could still smudge this, it's still fresh. I went ahead and did my other hand, doing the same thing, just going down the center, side to side, no capping. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna put a little acetone in our dapping dish. We're gonna grab our cleaning brush, dip it in the acetone, and then wipe off a little excess. And then we're just gonna inspect to see if we have any polish on the skin and clean it from the skin very carefully. Now, if you don't have any polish, you don't have to do this step. You could skip this step altogether. But if you have a little polish here or there, now if you don't have a brush, you could use the stick. It doesn't work the same, but you could still do it. So here I'm gonna wait 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We want to make sure there's dryness. It's dried enough between coats so you don't have a goopy mess at the end. And so now I'm going to start with my top coat. My top coat's just going to be like my base coat. Down the center, close to the cuticle, pushing it up, going side to side, and I'm going to cap. Yes, I am going to cap. So we capped on the base coat, we capped on the first polish coat, we did not cap the second polish coat, and then we're gonna cap on the top coat. So here I just have a lint-free wipe. So if you have a polish like that's red, you might notice that sometimes the color stays on your brush. And so eventually with time, your clear coat, your top coat's gonna get a little reddish tint. So this is a good technique that we use in the salon is after applying every coat of top coat, go ahead and wipe your brush either on a lint-free wipe or on a clean paper towel. And that just helps to not color your top coat, and that usually happens with dark colors, especially like reds, wines. It's not really happening with this purple color as much, but it's just a good way to, if you're wondering how to keep your top coat clear, this is a good method to use. It's just wipe your brush after each coat on a paper towel or on a lint-free wipe. And here we're just gonna finish off with the last nail. Now after you're done with all nails, wait another minute or two. Put a timer if you need to, and if you have drying cuticle oil, oh here I have to clean a little bit of that top coat, maybe got into my skin, so you want to make sure you don't have any product on the skin. But if you have a drying cuticle oil, wait a minute or two before applying, and it's optional if you have it. So wait 1 minute to 2 minutes before applying your cuticle drying oil. It's a drying oil, it's not just any cuticle oil. And if you don't have a drying cuticle oil, you don't worry, just set your timer for 10 minutes and stop moving. Don't do anything with your fingers for 10 minutes. But here I'm showing you the application of the drying oil. I'm still gonna do 10 minutes even with the drying oil. It just adds a little extra oil. And like, don't touch it, don't rub it. Put the timer on now for 10 minutes and don't move. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Now you could just touch the top, and if it's not sticky, it's pretty much dry on the surface, and just very gently, if it's dry, rub the oil around. If it's still sticky, then wait another 5 minutes before proceeding. But even after 10 minutes, your manicure is still delicate, so don't wash any dishes, don't do anything crazy for the next 30 minutes to an hour. And there we have it, a completed manicure with cuticle and hand care. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you like it, like.